The first concept you have of this invisible force is visibility.
Welcome.
The black. The black. The feeling of density. It's a heavy breath. In essence, it's a non-existent force that exists with the permission and presence with the permission and presence of the holiness involved in the area that you're in. The planet is being cleansed, literally. Prayer has not been an important part of life on this planet. Instructions are really what prayers are. Not only for you, but for the spiritual forces around you. It's a participatory event. All beings, everything participates at the same time. Maybe not in the same place, but it is participating in the forces that are around the planet, within segments that it's allowed to participate within. The concept of the dignity of the self and the human condition seems to have disappeared. The social consciousness has now appropriate awareness of true dignity. But it's going to start showing itself now. It's going to have to. And what will happen is the spiritual forces we will recognize and enhance those that wish to be dignified within themselves and understanding what that word really means. It's not a haughty expression or even meaning so. It's a humble power that knows how to use itself and call others to assist it. Moves the air. And the birds are really the eyes of the air, literally. That's why the air can see everything, everywhere, it doesn't matter. Same connection. And when you find out that all humanity, right now, this stage, are simply magnetic marbles moving around the grid system pretending you're doing something. You haven't sought your inner self yet, or even acknowledged it, except when it's in pain, the body pain. The body pain is a result of ignorance, the dignity of the self. When you fell, as you term it, born, come up, you weren't in the most pristine flow. You simply assimilated consciousness from around as you were pushed through consciousness, you assimilated that around you. You've got to get back to the being that pushed you through consciousness. And if you did it, figure out how you did it. But you didn't do it. That's the quandary now. Yet you will be allowed to know what and how you participated in the doing of it. Because you said you would. Place, planet. Yeah. Those are limiting terms. The areas you're involved in, I'm going to call it your galaxy, are your seed thoughts. You look at the Pleiades, you know what they are. You've heard the stories. Same with any star out there. You've heard something, not any, maybe not all, but some. You've heard the Big Dipper. So that's the depth of your consciousness. If you can see it, you can get there. You're there. You just haven't allowed your feelings to push there. Take the amorphous field in your body just below the skin and what you call, or about the ribs. Let's give you a buffer area in between your flesh and the physical. Yet, when you push that out from the ribs, just to beneath the skin, that area there, that layer, you push that out around you. The cellular structure within the physical has knowledge of its fall. That's what you create, so desires and things want to get in there and manifest and all of that craziness. And when you push it out, it connects with the stars. And then you get your true information, you let it come back in through you and feed the flesh from the starlight inside, underneath the skin. So what you're doing, you see in the black void of the sky at night, you see the stars. So you open the heart chakra and pull that energy in, particularly from the north, Archangel Uriel, and then look to the east, Raphael, the south, Michael, pull the star energy in there. And then you look to the west as Gabriel, pull the star energy in there, face in each direction. That's the purpose of all this. The teachings, all this being teachings you've told before, 4 directions. And don't forget up, down. Because there's stars on the other side of the planet. So you pull a light, a starlight around the planet. And what's the effect when you do that with the response from the moon, if it's visible? If it's visible, you'll see. And you'll not only see, you'll feel. Because it's a space that's important, because you're in it. That's the mercy of God, the space where you can think you have a thought, yours, self. When you move with other groupings, they're much more profound, powerful beings. It's like a powerful battalion, and you're in the middle of it. You're with yourself, and there are other beings who are with themselves. It's not a community party here. You're holding energy now, or at least the appropriateness of what is thought, so other beings can feel safe. Because right now the safety seems to be a big problem here. The ability to feel that way and accomplish something within the safety. Fear is being promulgated, and it's not a true thing. It's a false thing. Oh. Now what's going to begin to happen, the thoracic cavity in the body is going to begin to assimilate the higher frequencies. And if you're not prepared in the heart chakra, you're going to find out what a divine takeover is. You'll need to curl, be humble within the heart chakra. Say a prayer, pick one that you've been taught. Trust the masters that have taught you. Assimilate yourself. Find out how you are, who you are. And maintain that ability. Maintain the proper position of where the self should be. Arrogance has to be gone. Because you're going to be introduced to another force that's known you for a very long time. And it wants to be recognized. And that does not mean anyone's better than anyone else. It means it's the same force. And the key is in the recognition of it. What chakra is this force talking through? And you'll have to know that within yourself in order to receive the information appropriate for you in that particular chakra, for it to achieve its education and move up the ladder, what you term Jacob, which are the chakras, literally, as you walk them. And these chakras acknowledge as seen. That's why you can't get away with anything. You have angels all around you watching and looking at those chakras as you proceed up. Because they're your clearance channels, supposedly, gatekeepers, you'd say. They're the Elohim. And they watch the chakras as it moves, it educates itself. Or the entity within it's supposed to be running the vehicle. The one that said it would come and help. That one is waking up and being woken up. Because you're creating thought streams now. You've been the pathfinders. Now it's time to mark the path. That's what you're doing now with these books, things. The path's being marked. Those that follow will achieve. Those that understand will achieve. Those that perceive will achieve. Those that ignore will be ignored. That's the way it's going to be. The spiritual forces have been given the opportunity to ignore and disengage. And that's part of disengaging. So be careful who you're disengaging. Do not disengage the one that bonds you. Because if you do, you can imagine what will happen. Not a pretty story. The key as you move through this laboratory of the Father, the Mother, is to have mercy on those that don't know. Because your power is going to be magnified. And a simple thought could damage. And that's why the phrase violence toward no one doesn't mean physical violence only. It means thought inappropriate toward one. And if you do, buffer it. Put it in a buffer, close it down, and when you have time, send mercy and prayers to it. Say a prayer to it to calm that thought of yours, that you accept it. Now is the time to reject thoughts and accept them. Know what you're doing. Don't worry about it. Is that mine? Apply yourself. For the enhancement of the soul forces that you possess and others that you don't even know about that are yours, that are coming, that will strengthen you. But they don't want to come into a laboratory that is unclean. So the more the inner cleans itself, the more the forces will come to support you in what this next turn is to be. The next turn. You're already there. You just have to remember that. And then the slip and the slide will be very easy, be smooth. You're already there. And you need to remember yourself there. And then remember yourself here. And remember the stars. And remember why there's black between the stars in the space of night. That black is a being. The manifestation of Uriel, Archangel Uriel. That has not been known before, ever. Research it. Hasn't been known. Now it is. So it's appropriate for humanity to remember its mentors. There are those that cherish the human condition, that it exists actually. And there are those within the human condition that are not human. They are different species. They look human. But you can tell them because they have a distaste, arrogance toward humans, even though they look it. That's cleansing. The human condition is divine unto the Father, always has been. That's why Gabriel came to the mother, informed her about Jesus. That's why Jesus gave the teachings, did with the suffering, and that's why he said on the cross, forgive them, Father, they don't understand, they don't know what they're doing. Well, now you're supposed to know what you're doing. Gabriel gave the Quran to Muhammad, Muslim. Gabriel went to Mary, Jewish. Jesus, from whence came Christianity. Look at the big picture given by the same angel. The birth of it. The birth of it. The birth of it. Gabriel responsible for the birth of the Quran. Notification of the birth of Jesus. These are simple steps to connect. Why does everybody put everything in between to disconnect? If you go back to that one angel in the two communications there seems to be some sort of unification going on here. Forget time, distance, space. Remember the space yet, because it's occurring within the space. The same angel. The words of Gabriel are in the Quran. The words of Jesus are in the Bible. Gabriel is associated with the Holy Spirit, because he said the Holy Spirit is going to come into you. Shiva is the Holy Spirit. That's the other side of the planet. Religious goes to constructs, according to the constructs. Same force, same teachings. You can see why some beings in the other places have difficulty with humanity and their ability to put things together. And it might be because of the time constraints, the limited expansion of things occurring. But should be able to look back in history, put the pieces together here, because these names have been mentioned. They are those here to protect you and help you. And there is one, you know his name, the name, that doesn't want you to succeed in this. And you're still having difficulty of who to align with. It's amazing to some. The self is inwardly divine. And the mentors are there to help you. And they're teaching you appropriately so you will receive and achieve your own ability and your own individuality. You don't have it yet. You haven't unified the 49 personalities. You've got to get that unification going there. And forgive yourself for things done and forgive now for things done to you. Get over that one. Step up above the sternum. Because that's usually where the resentment is held, below it, the belly. You move up. You stand on the rib cage there, literally, and self. You get a part of yourself that stands in there. Wants to climb up a little bit. That's the invisible side. And kind of peek out the mouth. Get into the whole throat chakra. See what's going on. There's a crazy world out there, they say, inside you. Water with lemon will assist this process in what we call the transformation of understanding light within the body. Water with lemon. And a little harder or more, I will say, let's put it this way. The color is also appropriate when you're working with energies. And the color of limes are green. And green is a very powerful color, important here. Because green is the leaf of a tree which produces oxygen. When you guys spit out your carbon monoxide and try to poison yourself, you're getting your oxygen from the trees, green, and from the oceans, spitting water in the air. The appreciation for the green and the concept of your body. And remember, the fifth element is the wood. It takes the hits for you in these forests. That's why it has bark. So it can produce the green, which is the life. And the same with the human condition, only you're working with magnetic and electrical forces, not just water coming up into you. You're using the water for the, we'll say, mollification, M-O-L-L-I. F-I-C-A-T-I-O-N, mollification of it. The dignity of the water, you have to remember. There is one thing that can't be compressed. It's within your system. And there's knowledge in the water. The wisdom is in the water. And God's path is through the water. That has been given to you in your biblical literature. All the mysteries of self are there between the words. Not just so there's a story. The words are significant information for those willing to study themselves in their divine nature. Peace to all beings. You have questions?
Why are children dying, a plane full of people dying? Why are people leaving in groups like this? So many people leaving.
Call attention to your nonchalance.
Okay.
Huh? Let's go here and go there. Huh? Divine is coming. You better check there first before you start doing things now.
I know,
It is not a simple, how you say, procedure as it used to be now. You have beings that want to control this place. And when you have lost the dignity of self and you're caught into the inappropriate structures, divine will force a change. Will force you to think. Will force you. And what forces beings is when there's a loss of life. These tornadoes that run through, as you say, people were praying. There were tornadoes that were a mile wide. Went on for 20 miles or more. There is not enough prayer. is why. They're not taking the times to pray. Literally, it is meant as a warning.
So those groups of people, the souls are volunteering to leave?
The shock, yes. And what is, I say you this, they know what's coming and they don't want to be here.
What's coming?
The destruction.
How much destruction?
A lot. You better pray that these beings over in Europe and the Ukraine area cease. That common sense comes. Because you have rogue nations here that have atomic weapons. This is not... One of the difficulties is a push to see if what you call your extraterrestrial friends will really interfere in this thing and help as they said they would. Some are, and there's a lot of prevention going on to stop this. And one of the reasons is there's death tolls you've got, 200 or 300 people going off at once. It brings the attention over here to the great loss of life in a day.
The attention.
Hopefully it'll shift from more great loss of life in a day over there, spreading the energy out over the planet in what you call why, Father? Instead of leaving it in Europe, if you want to look at it that way. And the tsunami that was over in Japan, that took a lot of lives. So you're watching a lot of life go in a short time. And the resistance to the wake-up call is amazing. A few people will go for memorials and things, but the prayers are what stop it. Because there's a being that does not want you to pray because he does not like it. It reminds him of what he misses. And he can't get there. That's the way it is. But you don't know that yet.
I thought peace had been made with him.
Not yet. Not yet. He's activating his remnants, you say, beings that were in that enthrallment there of the power of it. That's what you're seeing now. But it's coming out. People are saying things they don't even know what they're saying anymore. Did I say that? Where'd that come from? Everything's being exposed. We've said this before.
Yes.
So the exposures now is stay with yourself and move. Remember your mudras. Shiva has taught them. These things clear. These things clear. He's taught things. Shiva teaches the secret teachings of the Holy Spirit. That's why he gets along with all the demons. They know who he is. They know anything to mess with him. They like him. He likes them too. He knows what's going on there. No judgment. There's a concept that's not felt or known yet. It's going to be. And that's what the difficult part is, because you're going to have these groupings again. Just like you've got with different groupings of different churches now. That's that Tower of Babel thing. Language was purposely confused, but not for what you think it was. Not that it was written that way anyway.
Why is it confused?
There was it was because there was a direct focus on building this thing and concentrating the language to war against the heavens. That's why it was built, and that's why the language was confused. Yeah.
Can you say more about that? Who was on each side?
Well, there are different, within the Jewish tradition, there are different tribes, yeah?
Yes.
Well, and the responsibility fell on one for the cause of this thing, and that's in the books, and they're going through their issues with this. It has to do with the priest stuff. That's what Christ came to fix, and that's why they crucified him, basically.
But the books, the information's in the Bible.
Yes,
right?
yes. And the rebelliousness is there. You'll see it if you read the words. Let it go holographically, and you'll see what happened. If you read the Bible, or the Quran actually, is built by beings in a specific way, so that if you read it, and you have a tendency to let your eyes wander and look between the words, you're going to end up looking at a holographic image. Particularly the Quran, because it's built that way. And you'll see stuff behind the words. You'll see an energy field there, and what it really means. You'll feel it more. Because the seeing has an effect within the body, resonates as a feeling. I like it, I dislike it, fear, what's that, all those energy questionizes that you have inside you, just from the sight. And hearing has the same thing. Words will have the same, but different level. Some people are very sensitive to the meaning of words and how you put them together. Immediate judgment. They'll stop a sentence because they don't know the definition, or you're doing something, Concepts were what words were for, to develop concepts. And then you work within the concepts. Well, now words have caused so much confusion that you don't have time to meditate. You're reading.
Okay, so some of the representatives of the heavens were represented by some of the priests then in Israel, you're saying, and they were warring against
the ones in the lower heavens. We'll call it the lower heavens, yeah.
The astral?
Yeah, yeah, okay. And higher. There's some eons, actually beings that are eons, old,
yeah,
that kind of overlay this place, and then keep interfering. And they have subsets and subsets and subsets, and influences. That's what you're going through now. You're going through the eons. You're going through self-repentance is what you're going through, literally, through each of the vertebrae in your spine. Because it's not your vertebrae. The calcium in the bones came from the mom. So you've got to remember the mother to get your vertebrae straightened out.
So have humans on the planet now at various times in various incarnations been influenced by some of these dark forces?
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, what you're realizing now, going to realize soon, nobody's dead ever.
Of course, but...
Right, so all the spirits are going to come out of the graves with all their energy things, and all the beings are going to come down, and everybody's going to be sitting around. Somebody's supposed to know something. When you find out, you realize you're not dead, you're going to look at the person that first told you weren't dead, or the concepts, and then see what they said. Or think about it anyway, and then it proceeds. But this life force that's coming is going to cease with death. Everybody will be dead and then undead. And you appreciate the fact that you're undead. Mm-hmm.
But the spirits aren't in the ground, just the bodies are in the ground. The spirits
it won't be the body you're worried about.
Okay, but I don't understand that. The spirits are going to rise up from where?
From within you, right out of you.
Oh, from within.
Yeah.
What spirits?
The part of you that leaves in dreams.
Okay.
In your dream. The part of you that wanders at night. The part of you that you don't remember when you wake up. But the part of you that comes in you that wakes you up because it wants to contemplate things that it's learned out there in quietude inside the body. That's why you don't remember things too much now, beings are.
But I thought that was our soul.
It's the consciousness of the physical flesh that's beginning to understand what the soul really is. The soul is really an electrical unit to capture emotional content in words, speech, actions, and to feel what you call a sense of accomplishment in itself, sense of ability to be responsible for all things, in that sense. It's an accumulator toy, you would say, but not a toy. And it doesn't roll. Balls roll. You can push a cube, roll a cube, but pyramids don't roll. There's a clue there. They're solid. They sit. The formation sits there so you can accumulate and understand within the self. You've got a meditating self within the soul. And you've got a meditating self outside of your body. And you have meditating selves within the chakras, sort of. And that meditating self, when it accomplishes what it said it was going to do, or wanted to do here, its desires, its understanding of thought, it's going to unhook at the throat chakra, be a little hook there. That's where the death rattle occurs when people leave the body and die permanently. It unhooks. That's the rattle. Da-da-da. Well, right now, the death process won't have to take place. The unhooking will take place, and it'll fall down, and you'll stand there on this platform, just showing what you've done. You won't be able to say anything. It's just all exposed there. This is your level of wisdom you've accomplished. And then a quick shut back up. You hardly know that you did anything, but you have the realization, okay, so this is my next step. You're graduating now. Humanity's graduating, those that are willing to anyway, to move up, literally, to be undead, to know what that means, without the fear of it. And that's this birth process that you've already gone through as a fetus and come out. You're in the same stage now. You're the fetal human stage. You're coming out into your grandness, pretty much. And my recommendation is everyone be gentle with themselves. Drink a lot of water. Be around water, at least on your skin and things, because it has an ability to communicate with you in a much calmer way than you're usually communicated with. Lukewarm water or warm water. So if you just rub it on your skin, your face, and your chest, underneath the rib cage of your breast, you'll feel significantly better. So the damp cloth, warm. And around your head, you'll feel it. Communicate with the water. And remember, water can't be compressed, but it transmits energy. It contains hydrogen and oxygen, and hydrogen is very flammable, so it can burn the dross that's within you. Yeah.
That's
clean it.
So the fight really isn't out there. The spirits in the it's within us.
Yes,
right?
because all the falling ones are what you use to create your cellular structure from the hollow of your bone. You answered thought, you participated thought, you manifested the flesh outside between the skin, and you're cleaning it. Yes.
You talked about the dignity of not only will the water do all the other things, but the dignity of water.
Yeah.
Can you say more about that? Usually you think of beings. Is water a being?
Mm-hmm, yes. So is the air. That's why I said the birds are the eyes of the air.
Water is a being?
It's the element. Yeah.
Water
has a consciousness.
Just on this planet, or it's connected
Yes.
to water on all planets?
Water is water. It is a being. Yes.
All over the universe, it's one being with little pieces here
Same water, same being.
Really?
Yes.
No matter whether it's thick or heavy water or water?
If it's H2O, it's water, same being. H3O is a different being.
So deuterium and some of those are different.
Yes.
So water is a being.
Well, when you find out the invisibleness of God is within the water, and it takes that much water, the oceans, just for God to be calm. Even those stormy oceans, that's calm God. It's a good thing it's not on the dirt earth. That sort of movement and power, you crack the planet in half.
But what I call the Creator is part of His consciousness is in the water of the planet, and part is in the air, and
His path is through the water.
Through the water.
And He makes the air.
And He creates the air.
From the water.
From the water.
Oxygen is in the water. It doesn't have to go too far. 1, 2, 3 for Him.
But the trees also create oxygen.
Condensation. Yes, trees create oxygen. Yes, from the compression of the pump of water up the system. From the water. Water.
So what do they do with the hydrogen?
The hydrogen is like Well, it's a gas, and it burns, but it doesn't have to. You don't want to get that thing fired up on the ocean.
No, but I mean the tree takes in the water, which is H2O, and it expels the O. So does it use the hydrogen for food or something? The tree itself?
Well, it is a chemical reaction that converts that process to sugar as a tree grows and uses it. Yeah.
Probably everybody in science knows that.
They know that.
I don't know.
That's not my job.
All right.
I know the water goes up there, the tree's a pump.
All right. So the dignity of the water, and you're saying it has the knowledge and the wisdom.
Well,
and so what do? We ask that come into us when we drink the water and when we're in the water? How do we? Yeah,
years ago you were told to bless the water, pray over the water, say that when you drink it. Because God is in the water. That is the only place, or I'm going to just say it this way. That's the easiest place for God to manifest quickly, is right in the water. Instead of in a rock, or instead on this, or instead on that, or instead over a picture, it's in the water, because He's there already. Because you can see the water, you can't see the air. He's already in the air, but you can see the water.
So the air moves and becomes wind, and then He's flying, huh?
No. There's something that pushes the wind.
But the wind is air.
Well, no. The wind is not air. Air is the feeling you have when wind pushes. Wind is called. You call the wind. Beings call the wind. And there's a being that pushes.
What being is that?
You heard of Ramtha?
Oh. So that's how he knew when he was on the planet. Because off the planet he... Alright. Was Ramtha one of the Ramses in Egypt? Or no relation? No relation? Because he was in India, right? He was in...
India, yeah. Yeah, Eastern country, yeah.
Alright, I'm sorry. I got off my curiosity. And the other thing you said, the blackness is Uriel. Well, the blackness is the void, and that's a being. So Uriel is the father of our Creator?
We're not talking about black holes.
Yeah. No.
But the black you see
in... Void. Yeah. The void.
Well, that's not the void. It's Uriel.
Okay, but some of the stuff we put out says that the Creator of this creation created it in what's called the void, so there will be a quiet place. We're kind of like tucked away in this black area. So we're within the being of Uriel then.
Yeah, they're in the protection of Uriel, yes.
The whole...
Anytime you see black right now in our consciousness.
That's Uriel. Why?
In the space I'm talking about black, not just because somebody's wearing black clothes.
Right. The absence of light within the space.
Well, there's light there, you just don't see it.
Okay. To our eyes it appears to be black, like the new moon or something.
Yes.
So how does that work, the new moon?
Well, the moon is a reflection of the light, indeed. The sun.
Right, but you said it had powers of its own.
Yes, it does.
Okay, Molly?
Can't now, please.
Oh, okay.
All right.
The moon... And in the construct of God not to want to get carried away with Himself on this planet as a demonic or oppressive ruling tyrant, set the moon there, and the moon rules the waters. There's a name for the moon in the mystical sense, and the moon rules the waters. So when you communicate to the moon, you're actually communicating with the water and God within the water. You know what you're doing. That's your telephone. And it's a reflection of the sun, moon's energy, which is a representation of Michael's force, spiritually speaking, in the essence of things and beyond. So you're looking and asking from the reflection of Michael's force through the moon that grows the water for protection and peace as you go through your daily life. That's where you get your communication. Those are your telephones out there. And then you work it right here on your planet and everything starts going correctly. You know who you're talking to? It was one of the symbolisms of Stonehenge, to keep track of the moons. Those stones didn't get lifted by humans. No. No. The magnetic forces of the planet help push them up there. Gaia. But she likes the moon. She likes the moon. The moon comforts her, and the sun coming up in the morning wakes her children up. She likes it that way.
All right, there's two of the angels. Michael's the sun. Uriel's
Uriel,
it's not the void, but it's
no,
the
black.
blackness.
So yes, we'll say that.
Okay, so there's two more. Then what is Raphael then? You look like I'm really asking too many questions here.
Raphael's associated with the air.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, what about the last one?
Gabriel? Michael?
Oh,
Gabriel?
Gabriel. So he's space, right?
He's associated with the Holy Spirit.
You said that before, but that just, isn't that associated with you with space?
Space, yeah.
Space.
And wood is the other element that you need to consider. Wood.
And who's that?
Gaia. The mother.
I don't understand how the moon can control the water when the water has the consciousness of the Creator in it.
Because the Creator had to put
he put the
limitations on himself here, so he doesn't become a ruling tyrant.
So
and the moon controls the tides, and when the oceans go crazy, I would suggest that your Divine Father is a little upset.
So would be reflected in like a tsunami?
Yes. It's also reflected weather patterns. And the fact that the Earth is tipping, you notice your weather is really changing pretty dramatically. The jet streams are moving further south. You're getting ready for a shift, not only pole shift, that's just nothing. You're getting ready for a shift in consciousness. You'll think it's a pole shift. But these forces that are moving around the planet are magnetic and electrical. They're what's shifting, not the planet. So the ball is going to stay right where it is. Everything else is going to shift around it.
The magnetic energy is a being too?
Yeah.
Anyone we know of, heard of?
Yeah, but we'll just kind of hold off on that one for a while.
And the electrical is part of the Earth itself. It's part of her nervous system, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Well, then you're getting into functions of earth, air, and sky. So you've got a different thing going on.
Okay.
Because the water was initially in the heavens, before it came down.
Yeah.
All right, so you're getting to areas yet that people aren't really ready for.
All right.
At the present time. It's like disentanglement, only be careful here. Because you're talking to the moon.
Okay. So how should we talk to the moon? What should we
Gently, mother. Mother. That was the nurturing force when you were a fetus. That's all you knew. Moon. Couldn't stand the sun. Couldn't stand the sun. It's the moon's energy your spirit force reflected on as you came in and got into the water. Literally. Because the sun would have fried you up like a... In the astral I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So you used the moon's gentle force as you came in and be a fetus, so you felt real comfortable as a fetus in the water, liquid. Then you come out as in a human condition. A representative of human coming out of the ocean, walking on the land. But you're doing it in smaller units, so you understand the concept of the moon, water, air, all of that, the elements. You're a spiritual force learning how to work with the elements, the elementals, literally, air, earth, fire, water.
So then you're working with the angels when you're working with them?
Yes, of course. Well, always. It's only when you're denial that you are that you're not.
I see.
They don't want to argue with you. They don't have to argue.
And this is only on Earth. No, there's no other planet out there that has these angels functioning in these
There are
capacities.
constructs similar for teachings, but they're all constructs. Supervisory forces to make sure other units aren't going to go destroy other civilizations, those kind of things. Those, yeah. You're learning to be a supervisory unit down here with your political powers, but you're seeing how much destruction you can create with nonsense thoughts.
Yeah, lustful power.
Yeah. So the assistance to shift this thing, when consciousness shifts really at a lower level, then your politicians have nothing then to support them. So you shift at the base level. And that's why your spiritual forces are coming around from around the pyramid. They come down the apex. They're going around like this, and they're going to come down on the inside.
Underneath the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah. That's what channels do, though they don't know it. The force comes in, and it goes up.
And then speaks from...
Yeah.
Ah.
Because that's a protection in there.
Uh-huh. Now you said something else interesting. You said there's humans walking around, but they're not really human. You can tell by their eyes. So what's the... these are what we call extraterrestrials, or these are... what are these?
There are subspecies that are coming up from beneath the planet that want to experience this thing.
Say more.
They're not extraterrestrials. They're humans. They look like humans, but they've been below the crust of the earth, below the mantle. All right, down, not that far, but down in the earth. Gnomes, you'd call them. But the group, it's not just gnomes. You have a culture and citizenry and civilizations there. They're coming up and they're looking at humans. Right?
So, but what would we call these? These are elementals?
No, they're...
No.
You might... very difficult with words here because there could be a judgmental thing, but it's an awareness thing more. They're not as educated as you are in the spiritual world. They come from a realm where oppression and...
You're talking of what we call the negative Syrians who
Yeah.
left their planet.
No.
We were told they left.
No. Gentle here. So what we do is just calmly go through the recognition phase, yeah? And then you just handle it. Okay.
But we were told the Earth didn't want to have another civilization, and they went off someplace else. I mean, they didn't. She didn't want to go through another group who had to go through
Right.
becoming benevolent.
Yeah. Well, there's still
But
some
so there's some.
there's still some hangers on. You know how everybody doesn't always get on the ship?
Oh, I see. All right. Just a few, though.
Enough to cause you problems if you're not careful. All right?
I thought.
But they're sort of looking at higher groups of consciousness to get involved with. They're not doing with the... They want to get in there and see if they can perhaps save themselves, basically.
I saw one once. I was on the ship.
There's
Orion did.
Yeah, a lot of confusion there. You know.
Okay.
Well, you're going to be dealing with a lot of confusion now. That's why prayers are important. So remember that Gabriel gave the message to Muhammad, and he also gave the message to Mary. So the Muslims and Christians have a connection by the same angel. That's really important.
And the Jews.
Yeah, same connection.
There shouldn't be any fighting for
Should
religious
not.
purposes.
Should
is what
not
you're
be.
saying. Yeah.
No,
Ridiculous.
no.
Do you see that changing?
Yes, when the realization comes, who's what? Oh,
We're all connected.
as long as people don't start getting "I'm better than you" thing.
Yeah.
That does not work. You have a job here. Your spiritual teacher told you what it was. You have a job here. Your spiritual teacher told you what it was. We're working with... Everybody's aligning under their spiritual teachers. The great spiritual teacher is the moon on this planet because it rules emotions. You're 60% water. So you need to work with the angels of the moon. There's a whole bunch of them in there. They're the ones that come and talk to you, really. They're the interpreters and communicators and stuff. They work with your dreams and things. They want to get humanity... Anyone that's willing to work with them on a silver path, what they call a silver path, because it's the easiest, it's clear, it's clean, and there's nothing in the way.
Say more. I never heard of angels of the moon.
Oh. There are... The old ones are there in the moon. They are available for those that will work what you term magic appropriately. It is a higher school of knowledge.
Really? Can we ask for them in our benevolent magic?
Yes.
How do we do
I'll
that?
tell you, the name of the secret name, not the secret, is known. The name of the moon to contact, initial contact, is Lavana, Lavanah.
You said that before, but I
Right.
didn't realize.
You run that name, run it,
Lavana.
Lavana, while you're looking at the moon, and you will receive what's appropriate for you to receive. Remember, you're contacting the ruler of the water here. So try to get into your water body and communicate that way. And you're 67% water, so you should be able to really quickly. That's one of the secrets of the divine teachings. You're mostly made up of water. That's why you're mostly divine.
Is there... how does the lack of oxygen on the planet affect our interaction with the water, since there's so much less oxygen in it?
How does it affect you? The thing is, just keep breathing. Your chakras are going to start breathing differently for you anyway, particularly the ones up near the shoulders. You're going to learn to breathe differently. And there'll be like a blowhole on your back, like the whales have. That chakra opens. You'll receive force and energy in there. It'll be a breath. It'll take you by surprise, but it's breath. Somebody else will breathe you.
Permanently, or just during the...
That's it. Why they're teaching you how to do it. It's like putting on an oxygen mask to get you through some turmoil. Or gas, or whatever you want to call it. Wow. They'll come in right at the back. They'll breathe you. You won't know. You'll feel it too. You'll know that someone else is in there breathing you. They're walking you to it. So just
oh, yeah. Yeah, in meditation I got that feeling. Yeah.
They're just preparing you for it. So you'll feel comfortable with, what we call it the takeover. Feel comfortable with the takeover, but that's your commanding officer just got you and put you in the right spot. That's all. Once you're over here, okay, yes sir, boom. That's what's going on. Really. You're being breathed. And if you let that understanding happen, just practice, let this other being breathe you. The first instance will be down by your kidneys where it starts coming in, because that's the place they want to clean. And the liver. A lot of anger in the kidneys needs to be cleaned first. That's right at the base of the pyramid too. So you've got to really make sure. It's not just outside it, but you can push up.
So I don't want to get the two systems of teaching confused, so I'll probably take this out of your book, but is deep disentanglement on the kidney then helpful to clean the anger?
Right. If you picture yourself like a cowboy with a rodeo rope, and you're sitting in here with your rodeo rope.
Twirling the rope.
Twirling the rope, and you get angry at something, you actually lasso it, put it there. Right?
Really?
With the rope. That's what you do. What you call it. So the other way is, in disentanglement, is just a way, well, I shouldn't say it that way, it's a way to see your connections. But you gotta go back to why and where and all this, and what was the purpose of it, and did you do the connection or did someone else do it? And then if you're...
Wait. Let's put that aside. Pretend I didn't ask that.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you, okay, how do we clean the kidney?
How do you get rid of it?
Yeah.
You look to the kidney, you apologize to it, ask it what it wants to do, feel it, and give it some water and lemon juice in there, and talk to it when you're drinking. And you're going to feel it'll move, it's respond, because it's a being. But what you're really talking to is its auric field. So because that's how you manifest all your organs. It's how you manifest instantly all the time. It's coming out of here. So your auric field is inside you being pushed out. Boom. Okay, so it's the first touch is the auric field. So you calm it. You bless your kidney. Thank you for being a kidney. I'm sorry I did this to you. What can I do to help? That sort of thing. And you feel the movement, and eventually there'll be an energy that'll come up to the right side of the jaw, right here. You'll feel it. It'll be at your lower jawbone. It'll come up over the cheekbone. And feel like something grabbed you like this, a little hand. Like that. You see what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
And your thumb's back here.
The thumb's under the ear, and the fingers are under the eye.
Yeah. That posture will get you to communicate to the kidney, and the kidney will be, okay, I understand. Now put your hand up there. You got it? Up there. Feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you let it go down, and you sit and just hold it a minute.
Yeah, I feel energy.
And you
go
get the
down.
response. And that's how you use your, that's what these are for. The hand represents the hand of God. Alright?
Oh.
Hand of God's talking to the body part, fix this in here.
What's the
You've
left?
got the
What's
apostles
the left
on
side? What's the left side?
the left side will take care of the left side of the body. Right side
Oh, the whole side of the body.
Yeah.
They don't cross over. It's right to right sided.
Yeah, you've got two different meridians now.
Yeah.
And two different forces that come in. That's why you have the conversations with yourself.
Right.
We're learning to get them together now.
But the left hand definitely is the left hand, the left side of the body.
Yes.
Okay. It's not. Okay.
Yes. And you can use the left hand on the right side, but for this particular move you do here.
Uh-huh.
And you feel a pull, and you might even feel an inclination to go over to this shoulder. So the other side of self acknowledges yourself, and the other side of self. You've got to acknowledge your left and right side. You have to. Because there's two different beings in there.
We have two different beings in our body?
You've got one on the left side, and you've got one on the right side. Yes.
And how do they relate to the soul and the organs?
They relate to the Kundalini. They're becoming individualized as Kundalinic forces now. As consciousness.
So they
And they'll
combine
work
then when we raise the Kundalini?
like the Caduceus.
Yes.
Yes. And then you get your wings up here, and you're supposed to know what you're doing.
In your forehead, yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right, now let's go back to the apostles on the sections of the fingers.
Yes.
We couldn't find what we barely had a picture, but how do we find out what each apostle means? Is that something that's already published someplace?
Some of it is in the writings of some of the apostles. It's in their writings. That will show you their concepts. And when that joint or particular moves, that concept should be acknowledged in you. That was the point of all this. What is the teacher saying? Because that's where you got these things from.
What about the toes? Same
Toes
thing?
are the same. Toes you're working with the earth, so there's more of what we call the Hindu energies. Tibetan.
What if you break your fingers in your hand, in your toes? What does that do to you?
Well, you've got some adjustments to make, you see. That's why the bones are so important, particularly the howls of the bones. The howls of the bone is used for spiritual forces to enter in, send a tone in, and maybe to get the message. They don't want to hang around a lot here. They want to come in, spread it out, maybe they'll pick it up. Because Jesus and the apostles already did all that teaching. They don't want to walk around and do that anymore. They're doing something else. It's a job down here for everybody to get it.
But it's not, and it's all available if we look?
Oh, it's available, and you pick it up because it's an electrical energy. Jesus was the one that showed us the interference between electrical and magnetic, how we stay in between it. And even when he's going to Gethsemane, and the angel had to stand guard over him just so he could protect it from the force of the Father, from killing him, from even asking the question. You know, that force has to be understood. It's a real force. And these angels are here to protect us from being stupid so we don't get killed by it. So we still have some idea that there's an evolution going on. Because Father is getting really upset with humanity in a way that he wants to wipe everything out, literally. Because Arthur was told Genesis 6:7, and that reflects to Noah. It was the only one he could find. And that is, the paragraphs before that was a scary message. He didn't see anything good about humanity because he told the being, humanity does not respect anything I created, which is nature and the crickets and the birds and the worms. Oh. He's getting down there. They don't respect the trees, they don't respect the water, they don't respect anything I created. He's not talking about humans. He's talking about what he's did. Oh. So, that notification is going out. And everybody's feeling it. That's what you're feeling now. That's what you're feeling with these ferries and airplanes going down and these tornadoes. And this threat of war. This being that's showing up will make everyone pray. That's what he does. That was a warning from the mother. That's what Jesus said. Forgive your enemies. That's what's this thing. Stop this.
So this force that's showing up, you said, is the Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit is here to assist us and protect us when this other force shows up.
Okay, and what is this other force?
This other force is pure electricity, beyond thought, fire.
And how will it manifest?
Probably as an explosion, a bursting thing.
And then it'll go all over the planet?
Well, then it's a matter of who gets up.
We need to be protected from the electric and magnetic are in our bodies already.
Yes, but
We
it's going to come
electric.
from with outside. It's going to come from with outside. It's like a parent that is fed up with the children, spoiled children, and is going to slam something on the table.
And this is an aspect of the Creator.
Uh-huh.
It's never been on this planet before.
Everyone's walking around as gods here. They're going to be shown who God is, and they're going to determine where they are and stands in that pantheon. That's what's going to happen.
And what
you're
is
walking
this?
toward it, and you're walking toward it very rapidly. We were waiting, so perhaps we could get to August. If we could get to August, Leo could help us. If you don't get to August, you're going to be in trouble.
This force is coming this year before August?
Mm-hmm.
And
Actually, it's already here. I don't have to go anywhere. It's turning, so it's showing itself.
It's what did you, a turning?
It's turning.
It's turning.
So it can show itself. It's like a great transparent mirror you're looking through, but you don't know it yet. All it has to do is turn.
And where did it come from?
It doesn't come from anywhere.
It's always been
always
here?
there. Ever when. Comes out of the knot if you need to come from somewhere. From no existence.
From the unmanifest.
From
Okay.
the unmanifest, yeah.
It's always been here, but now it's like awakening, or it's...
No. No. It's always awake. It's disgusted. That's the word I can use.
Okay,
With
so
us.
it's always been on the earth, and it's put up with everything till now, and now it's going to express itself.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I see. And it...
The news is out there how bad things are. It does not like seeing starving children. It does not like that one at all. And the ones responsible this is a serious thing here.
Now, is this a being?
Where?
And have we ever heard of this being?
Where?
Does it have a name or
Jehovah.
Jehovah? Jehovah is the electrical force?
That's the old one. Oh, it's before that. I mean, that's just a name that you're not supposed to use anyway, but everybody, because it shows up. But it's something before that.
Yeah, because Jehovah is a person.
It's just before that. Everybody's evolving here. That being has evolved more. Working with the same thing. There's going to be quite a party when this thing happens. I suggest be careful, literally, because you're dealing with the pineal gland and the heart chakra at the same time. And some people can't stand the shock of seeing what they thought was purity that it isn't.
Okay, but it's not, we can't call this energy Jehovah. That doesn't make sense.
No, it's not the energy. What will happen is this being will define himself. Him, her. It doesn't have a male-female connotation. It has a teaching that it goes by. And things that it's done.
When? When did it do these things?
When?
Yeah. On this planet, it has a history?
It has a history with Moses. It is that being. But there's more there, you see. This is that book thing I was talking about. Gabriel and this Jewish lady and Jesus, and Gabriel and the Muslims. Right? Now, it's the same being, same spirit, trying to educate everybody on the planet. Trying to get the separation down. Wait a minute. Slow down. We're at that process now. There's going to become a new prophet here that's going to unite all these things and show that there is unification. There is no need for this stuff, all this thing. I'm better, who be this, who be... Doesn't matter.
Is that prophet already born?
Yes.
How will we know him?
Believe me, you'll know him. Because when they start speaking the truth, everybody's going to respond to it. They'll know it. It'll be a resonance there. Won't be any question. Because it'll be divine talking through everybody at the same time.
So
It'll literally
this force is going to talk through this prophet.
Yes, talk us all through it. Actually, but well, this force has the ability to come into everybody at the same time and speak at the same time. And the consciousness within the person that it came in will still be there and understand that it's being spoken to by someone that came in and speaking to it, and it is in the person across the room speaking at the same time and looking, and the entity in the body, the one that owns it, is realizing the same thing. So when that consciousness says to everybody that this divine force speaks to everybody at the same time, the same one, then we won't have a question.
And that's going to happen by August?
It should happen in July.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. So that's why, so we need to get this book out.
Well, the book will be there as a wake-up call. People have to go through this before they believe it.
Oh, so we're not predicting this, we're trying to explain it after the fact.
Yes.
Got it.
This is what happened to you.
I see.
That's what they're going through now. First you have to feel it, and then it gets explained. What, that happened? Yes, it did. For a reason. So you could see, and you could feel, and you could acknowledge yourself and be thankful that you made it through it, pretty much. Thankfulness for waking up every day is very important now. Thankfulness for the air you breathe. Thankfulness for the ability to have a thought that you think is your own. That's thankfulness. Not under control of someone else's thought process, slave thoughts we call them, that they push over the meter and everything. And everybody's, oh, blah, 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 blah. You're thinking the wrong thing. Now's the time, this year particularly, to think about God, because this is the year of the 7.
Oh, 7 years. Spiritual mastery.
Spiritual tone for the whole year. And each month it rings a new bell.
Which we feel in our bones.
Which you're feeling in the bones. In the month of April, 7 and 4 is 11. You're feeling a higher teaching in your bones. May will be a little gentler. Because 7 and 5 is 12, which is a 3. But June and July, watch out.
Watch out. I still can't get my mind around this force. Maybe I'm just stupid, but...
No, it's there. You're feeling it.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get a conceptual understanding of this force has always been here.
Yeah.
And now it's discussed at what it sees, and it has a history that it taught. What did it teach? What teachings are there connected with this force from the past?
It told it was basically go forth and multiply was the simplest one. Just it. But then with the influences from the outside.
That force spoke through Jehovah.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't Jehovah. It spoke through him. I see. I don't see. I mean, I understand that part, but I don't. But where was he before that? And then what? Does he go back in the history of this planet with civilizations that are long gone?
Well, you're beyond. When you get to there, you're beyond words. And words can't describe what was there. You have limitations with your words. The biggest thing we could say, the best thing, is the expansiveness of the universe as it explodes and expands. That's all. And the wherewithal, the whereabouts are limited by the concept. And the concepts are there because of the words. And the words limit you because they have to sit this pattern. And this species speaks this wording and sits that pattern. And they do things.
But the expansion has to do with our expanding potential, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's knowledge of how to do, pretty much, not how to speak. And actually, it's a knowledge of what speech does. Commands, actually.
I have to start doing, not talking. Wow.
It's the command structure of words that have been misappropriated.
But we need to use that command structure now for our prayers.
Yes.
So we need to take back that power that we...
That was God given to you in the first place. Someone else took it away from you.
Okay.
It wasn't the Creator God. He gave it to you.
I see.
Someone else took it away. They clouded your mind, caused confusion. And when the Babel thing had, that was purposeful because there was so much antagonism being worked there, you would say. So now you're coming out of it. You've gone through the Babel. You're going through it, actually, coming out of the Babel. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Will we get one language back?
It'll be more of a feeling.
That's right. We're
Your
going
bones
beyond
will,
words, yeah.
Your bones will sing. You communicate with, you've got telepathy, but it's much more than telepathy. It's a thought combined with the tone of your body, and it's a song you sing. You don't even sing it. People feel your song because your ribs sing.
And it's a feeling.
Yeah, it's all a feeling.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. And you like it because you look good when you're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it feels good, actually. You've accomplished something and you know it. You can feel it, you know it. And you actually feel you don't care if anybody else understands it. Because you're breathing, you're healthy, and you're learning something. And every day you're learning more about God, whether you know it or not.